This is the Epic Hell Clear for Decaying Naturas 2026 Advent. I'll be showing a few different setups. The first one is the free-to-play setup, and it's pretty much free/easy to get units, except for Senya and kind of Sinful Angelica. Sinful Angelica is here because I don't have Verdant and I'm not on Verdant and she is really, really good here, but we'll be using Sinful Angelica instead. And then Senya, we don't really have a choice. You need to provoke the ads. It's really, really annoying without either Senya or Cecilia. And if you have Cecilia, you kind of need, like, other units to help you out, which aren't necessarily free to play. But we'll go over that later. Cecilia will be an alternative phase 1 that I'll show. I'll also show some, like, lower RNG teams. But let's take a look at the stats for this team first. Again, this is the free to play team. First up is, let's do this. Okay, so Senya, you want her about 170 speed, and then 85 effectiveness, 200 F-res, and the rest of your stats into bulk. I like going Aureus on her because this will help a lot with keeping Vivian alive. The boss kind of does hurt a little bit. And then besides that, it doesn't really matter. You probably want to go her heal EE, just so you can help her sustain a little bit more, but it's not really a huge deal unless you're missing a ton of HP or something. Next up is Vivian. You want her about 230 speed, and then just give her damage. You don't need a lot of damage. Daydream Joker is going to do most of the work for you. You can cut off a ton of damage and be okay. With this damage, we have like an entire S1 to spare pretty much, so. Now Sinful Angelica, you want her pretty fast, and then 200 F-res with at least 35 effectiveness, because we have effectiveness buff after using S3. I gave her Magraha's Tome just to help her cycle a little bit. This will be really useful if your like speed is lower. If you're only like 260 or something, 250, then the Magraha's Tome helps a lot. I actually don't even know if 250 works. But, and of course, make sure to put Vivian on Sinful Angelica's imprint slot. So here is the second team. We have Mercedes, Hazel, plus Camilla. I'm pretty sure I said one of the unit names wrong, but here is Mascot Hazel. About like high 160s is fine. Her speed doesn't matter too much, you just don't want her blazing fast, and you want her to be faster than Mercedes. Besides that, it doesn't matter. Immunity set is the only thing that matters, because you don't want to get pushed back by the ad. This is the lazy way out of going 200 F-res, and then they just gave her Warhorn for more damage, because why not? Oh, one very important thing about Mascot Hazel. If you picked up this rune here, which one? Okay, it's one of the ones in here. If you picked up this one, 20% chance to give continuous healing for 2 turns. This is bad. The boss does bad things to you if you have 3 buffs. So if you have this, this will cause you to have a 20% chance to instantly fail phase 2. If you don't have it, fantastic. Congrats. Mercedes, I need to give her a damage artifact. Let's give her Symbol. Symbol of Unity. Wait, we're going Daydream Joker. You probably could do this with Symbol, but Daydream Joker is enough. Just give her damage stats and at least 135 speed, I would say, is the breakpoint. You do want 100% crit chance even though the boss is Earth, because the ads are not Earth. And you want immunity set on her too. And lastly, Camilla. I don't know why she's self-imprinted. Okay, I guess we're going to self-imprint her. Slower than Mercedes. And then just... You can give her damage if you want. It's not a huge deal. As long as she's slower than Mercedes, you're good to go. And then just any artifact, it doesn't really matter. For our third team... Iseria, make her ideally faster than this. The faster your Iseria is, the better. And then you want at least 85 effectiveness with Song of Stars. Carrot doesn't really do too much here. She's kind of RNG mitigation. The reason I say you want Carrot in this area really fast is because the boss starts off by pushing you back, and then your Carrot might get like hit by the counter and pushed back again, and the boss cuts her and pushes her back again. She might just not cut Ras at all. But honestly, if your Iseria lands like 2 debuffs, you're probably good to go. It's not a huge deal. And we're just going to be running with this. Genesis Ras, full damage, Daydream Joker, pretty basic. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so phase 1, so Angelica's going to go first, but it's going to S3. There's a couple of RNG points. We have to land our Angelica Soulburn S1 Death Break, and of course we have to provoke the ads. You have to hit the ads 5 times while they're provoked in order to remove the mana buff, the retaliation mana. The Senya, the reason we needed speed on her was we could cut the ads here. You want to have the ads be provoked by the time they take their turn. Nicely landed both provokes. Hopefully we re-provoke. We're going to Soulburn S1 here, hopefully Death Break. S2 here, and you're done with the mana buff there. Also, Vivian going before the boss was pretty important too, so you can immunity buff, block the S1s. And at this point, we're pretty much done. We're just gonna keep on hitting the boss. And you can see we had an entire S1 left over, because Vivian didn't get to go yet. We're gonna press Hazel S3 and pray that we don't proc heal buff. And we did, so this run is completely dead. So you're gonna press S3, and then he's gonna just resummon the ads, and you can't really do anything. And he takes no damage while ads are alive. So let's reset. Alright, so we are back. This time we did not proc the heal buff. You're just gonna S3, you straight up one-shot the ads. Like, it's not very hard to kill them. I think it did happen there. The ads, they give barrier or effectiveness buff on death, and they don't die at the same time. Like, they technically die sequentially, so you have to make sure you have enough damage to kill through the barrier. Let's hopefully Death Break. Nice. You land the Death Break, you're good to go. And here, I'm just going to show that even if, like, Mercedes gets pushed back there, you can still kill the boss. Like, it doesn't matter. Now phase 3, all we really have to do is try to land enough debuffs. You need, like, probably 2 or 3 for a clean kill. We landed 3, and we're already done here. Carrot didn't get pushed back, but this is one of the things where I mentioned, like, if she got pushed back, the boss would have cut her and then pushed her back again. This is why I say that you kind of want both Iseria and Carrot a bit faster, but it's fine. We're just going to S3 here. You can S2 if you need the extra damage. I'm also going to stop the run. You can see the boss is dead. Alright, so that was a free-to-play team. Let's talk about some improvements to this team to make it a lot more consistent for people who have the units. Midnight Gall Lilius works out a lot better than Sinful Angelica, because Gala S3 is going to almost one-shot the boss. This also helps out because you'll have a lot more time to kill the boss. You can go multiple phases as long as Vivian's higher attack than Gala. Then Vivian can just face tank the Decayed Curse even if her S3 is not up. You can just make sure you get your 5 provoked hits in, and then just kill the boss with Gala afterwards. You can also shift Vivian over to Tag Hells for extra souls, maybe Soulburn and Senya S3, so you can get that AoE again. Now for phase 2, really, it's just get and ignore Ephra's Death Break. Afternoon Soak Flan actually works amazing for this because her S3 is 10 soul, ignore Ephra's Death Break. Very, very cool. And then for this phase, the best debuffer is actually Eligos, because Eligos, you Soulburn his S3, you don't even need Molas if you never built him. You Soulburn his S3, it's Death Break, Target, and Pushback. Ignore Ephra's. Very, very cool. Sick PvE unit. And then if you're going to max out your Ras damage, the easiest way to do that is just Nurse Yoha, really. Like, yeah. You can also, of course, if you don't have Nurse Steel, just replace her with like any debuffer. Suthin is better than Carrot. So this would be pretty much the optimal team. Let's take a look at an alternative Phase 1. Here is the second team. We will be using Cecilia instead of Senya, just in case you don't have Senya, but you have Cecilia built. Unfortunately, I don't know how to get this to work without Afternoon Soak Flan. There might be a way to do it, but you really want to match elements because the speed buff is kind of annoying. So we got Cecilia, Cermia, plus Flan, and then I'll also show some different setups here. So since we're using Flan here, we can't use her to ignore F-Res Death Break. We'll be using Aki instead. Aki's actually kind of cool because you don't even need souls for it, so. And then Vivian, if you just make her faster than the boss, you can apply immunity buff to everybody. You won't be able to kill the ads with just Mercedes S3 with just attack buff, like without Hazel, but this removes the RNG because you get immunity buff up early, and then Vivian can lap around and help you kill off all the mushrooms. And then Phase 3, we'll still be using Eligos, but we're going to be using Notos just for fun. There's no reason to not use just Genesis Ras plus somebody else, but we can use Notos. So let's go ahead and take a look at everybody's stats. First up is Cecilia. You, of course, want to make sure her provoke chance is maxed on S3. And then all that really matters is 200 F-Res, ideally 85 effectiveness and some speed, and you're pretty much good to go. Her stats aren't too important, you're just provoking with her pretty much. And now for Cermia, you do want a bit of speed on her. I think, like, yeah, high 170s is probably nice. Then just give her damage afterwards. You're not really hurting for damage or anything. I'm not going to bother imprinting her or self-imprinting. You don't need that much damage. You're overkilling the boss by a lot. I do think the barrier EE is really, really nice here as usual, just because the barrier helps a ton with sustain. And then give her Daydream Joker. And then Afternoon Soak Flan. You can just build her with a bit of speed. Almost 200, I think, is good. Slower than Cecilia is the important thing. And then her artifact, any damage artifact works fine. You can use her personal. Phase 2, Aki. We're going full tank Aki. Just give him as much defense and HP as you can, and really, really, really slow. And yeah, that's pretty much all that really matters for him. Also, I forgot to mention, but I gave him Warhorn just for the attack. Not that it's really needed. Mercedes, Daydream Joker. You don't need the immunity set because we have Vivian, so you can give her like better stats. We're also kind of overkilling the boss on this phase. For consistency, you might actually want to like drop a bit of damage and give her some bulk just so she doesn't die or anything, but it'll be fine. And then Vivian, about like 230 speed. I gave her Victoria's Flag for the damage reduction. Same thing, you can afford to drop damage for bulk if you need it. Oh, CR push EE, of course. Because we want her to lap around. You can go for CR push. You're cutting the boss, so you don't need to cleanse or anything. Now Phase 3. Eligos, just make him faster than the boss. That's it. That's all you really need. Notos, Warfare set plus Daydream Joker, and you're good to go. You can just use your PvP build on him. Even if your Notos is slow, the boss isn't going to kill you, so... And she's just here as a book holder, because I think she's a funny unit. All you really need is anybody to hold book. So the only RNG in this setup is landing your first 2 provokes with Cecilia, which hopefully we're able to do here. Nice, so we landed both. This is why I had Flan so fast. We're going to press S1 here to hit the ads twice. Because the difference between Senya and Cecilia is Cecilia can't re-provoke the ads, so we have to make sure we get all 5 hits in immediately. We're going to S3 here, and this is just for the souls. That's our 5th hit. You can see the retaliation mana is gone. We're going to S2 here for 2 more souls. This gives us exactly 10 souls to work with. Now we can soul burn into the boss, ignore F-Res Death Break, guarantees that we clear this phase no problem. Hit him once, and he's dead. And we still had more turns to work with, right? Cecilia S1. Get our immunity buff up. So here we'll S3. Decaying can flush the mushrooms. So we didn't get it there, but the boss does have a chance to get barrier. Make sure you can kill, even if he gets the barrier. We get the soul burn completely for free. That's another ignore F-Res Death Break right there. And that's what I mean when I say we overkill. We had an entire S2 left, so you can definitely get away with lower damage. Just soul burn into the boss. And then we domain expansion. And Notos, just with his billion HP, is not going to die, no matter how many times the boss counters you. You just punch him again. And we're done, and we still had a full S2 left to work with. The boss wouldn't have been death broken, but it would have been fine, because you had enough damage to kill him anyways. So that is the Epic Hell clears.